without my permission, nobody else may record these proceedings. You may take notes if you're here from the media, but if you're here as a...
Mr. Sussman a copy as well as courtesy copy for his, well, we don't know if they're going to be his clients.
Right.
Your Honor, I acknowledge receipt. They have absolutely no motive to flee. Allow them to go home on their own recognizance and consistent with the conditions this court has set recently in orders of protection, which they are
Returned for quite some time, weeks if not months. Indeed, upon information and belief, the Commissioner and Your Honor permitted visitation while the child was still alive in an order of protection. But the defendants did not even return for that.
If you believe that in any way, if the court would understand they have been assiduously attempting to have visitation with their children, they've not had a funeral for their daughter, they're trying to reconstitute their family. And I think if you take
bail at this time, I am requiring Mr. Steven Bennett and Ms. Heidi Tranberg to personally report they are not to leave the state of New York, and that includes a trip to...
Petition, Your Honor, that's scheduled for trial in family court. People respectfully...
With regard to that issue, they continue to insist, and I tend to agree with them. I don't agree with counsel that the 1028 decision is a roadmap showing, nor do they, but the court can make whatever inquiry it feels necessary. I would, if you want briefing on the matter, I'm also happy to submit further briefing on it in terms of their waiver and their ability to waive.
No place in Mr. Sussman's statements in that regard are misplaced and should be ignored, I would respectfully submit. Secondly, Judge, if Mr. Sussman and his clients would like to try this case in the...
So what happened is that information, which is not an indictment by a grand jury, but rather the writings of the district attorney's office, was presented charging Steve Bennett and Heidi Tranberg-Bennett with a manslaughter count relating to the death on December 6, 2019 of a daughter, one of their daughters. So that charge was presented. We entered pleas of not guilty. The judge did not set cash bail for them, released them on their own recognizance with certain conditions.
Obviously, this is an emotional case. How important is this case to this family?
Well, it's important to the whole community. It's crucial, obviously, to the family, 3 of whose children are still being held by DSS almost a year later. It's crucial to the community as well. Truth-telling and transparency are of paramount importance to a justice system. And I believe, as I said in court, that once the story is told, the charges will in fact be repudiated, and this family will be understood to be really victims, not perpetrators. And that's a great moment to a community. And these are, in my view, highly responsible individuals who've raised beautiful children, who've done an excellent job of it. The fact that some of their ideas may be unconventional has nothing to do with their rights as Americans. And I think it's a wrong-headed prosecution. I've made that clear for quite a while. So I have excellent investigators. We are planning avidly to proceed and defend the case at the earliest possible date. And I mean that seriously. You heard the prosecutor today wanting to delay the proceeding on the family court side, which is now scheduled for 2 weeks starting November 30th, which will finally resolve whether these children should be returned, the other children should be returned. I don't want that delayed, and I want this criminal proceeding heard at the earliest possible moment, really, because I think the interests of justice in a case where it's a year old already, effectively, are for family reunification and justice, and I don't think that can be delayed. I think the quicker we get to it, the better. So that's how I view it. And we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks for being here, everybody.